Hello, today's the day podcast with Jack and Danny. Danny, how's it going, mate?
Jack, what is happening, sir? How are you?
I am all good in the hood. What have you got up to this weekend?
Oh, not much, lads. And yourself, just training away, working away. Then obviously big fights on last night, so I had to watch them. What about you?
Same as me. I watched them fights myself. No match day, I'd say, because I think it was international break. I think that's I think that's why. But yeah, talk about the fights. Which ones in particular? Because there's two different cards that I can think of. What ones
Yeah,
were you watching?
two big cards on last night. Obviously, there was the KSI card and all lemons, and there was the Cage Warriors card. Paul Hughes was fighting. Yeah, did you watch both of them, or which one did you watch? Did you get a chance to watch?
I watched the YouTuber fights. I didn't watch Paul Hughes, but how did Paul Hughes get on?
Lad, unbelievable. Sparked your boy out with a check left hook in the first round, lad. And he was all over
Jeez.
the boy. He was all over the boy for the 2.5 minutes that the fight lasted. No, I mean it was insane. Like, big Paddy McCoy, he choked your the boy he was fighting out in the third round. So pretty sick performance for all the Irish lads. No, I mean Fight Academy,
Yep, he's an ex Conor McGregor, as people would say.
biggest prospect in Europe at the moment. Like,
Do you think so?
100% in the world, probably, to be honest, lad. Especially in the lightweight division. You know what I mean? Just moving up in weight. So I
He's
think the UFC is very soon,
he's putting us on the map.
100%, lad. But the KSI card, the YouTuber boxing, what do you think of it? Obviously, there was a wee bit of MMA involved in that there card as well, lad.
Well, I'll be honest with you, the main card and what would they say, co-main card, even though they were apparently both main cards, but yeah, they were both the least entertaining fights of the whole night compared to
Mm-mm.
the two fights before, in my opinion. But we'll talk about it first. We'll talk about that Dylan Dennis and Logan Paul fight. I thought it was just wasn't it. It just wasn't good. Like, what was Dylan Dennis doing?
I know, lad. I think he was just in there for the money, to be honest. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
He was there for a paycheck, and then he's going home. He won't. Here, the thing is, he won't even get that much money because of the amount of things he'll be sued for.
DQ, definitely a DQ, wasn't it? Because there was what 10 seconds left to fight when he went for a guillotine choke, wasn't
Yeah, and here I tell you what, Logan beat him in MMA too. Or
it? Big hammer fist clean to the bake, lad.
I know, lad. Jesus, mad. Did you see Jake Paul trying to get in the ring as well?
Yeah, did you see? William Hill actually had one of them special bets on it. What was it, 3-1 for Jake Paul to jump into the ring during the fight? So if anyone stuck money on that, there you go. Like, three to
Yeah,
one,
yeah. That was a cert happening. Like, to be fair.
literally, like easy money. But what do you think of the quality of the fight? Then you thought it was poor, both of them. I thought the KSI fight was horrendous. What it was a boring to watch, like, wasn't it?
I thought it was very boring, but it was very boring. I thought Tommy had a very poor display, but I thought KSI's game plan was actually good. Like,
Yeah,
he's not a better boxer than Tommy Fury. He knows that, so he just made it as challenges and as he could. And it's controversial, but I think he deserves to win that fight or get a draw. He did not deserve to lose at all. In my opinion,
uh,
like, controversial. What's your thoughts?
yeah, just kind of said it was a good game plan for himself, obviously, but I don't think it was a good game plan for the fans. Obviously, him being a YouTuber, he's meant to be an entertainer. Do you know what I mean? As we both experienced, so he went out and put on one of the most boring fights I've ever watched in my life. Just kind of overhand right hug. Do you know what I mean? The whole match. I think Tommy Fury could have done more. Kind of obviously when he was landing the jab, he could have landed more to the jab and created a bit of distance and worked a wee bit more with against KSI, but. KSI was going in to grab him and stuff. What did you think about the point deduction for the shots in the back of the head? Do you think that was fair, or do you think that was?
I think yes, because it was done multiple times, it wasn't just that one time. On top of that, I thought although KSI is meant to be an entertainer and he's meant to, all the rest of it, he's not the boxer. Tommy
Mm,
Fury is the boxer. He should be the one showing the display. Yes, obviously KSI makes it very hard to be able to box because of the style and how difficult he's making it by clinching all the time. But he done what he needed to do.
the
Also, um, I still feel like KSI won that fight, if not drew at least. He didn't lose it, in my opinion. What's your thoughts? Do you think he won, or do you think he lost, or what's your thoughts?
Uh, I think he didn't land enough significant shots. I mean, all them overhand rights that he was throwing, they never actually landed. He was throwing a few shots in the clinch. I think the dirty. I think Tommy Fury was too long and rangy to do any significant dirty boxing against a small opponent like KSI. Obviously, he's not small, but compared to Tommy Fury was, the shots in the back of the head. See, it's controversial. The shots in the back of the head. I'm not going to disagree with the fact that them shots in the back of the head did land and they are legal shots. But when KSI was ducking his head so low, it was inevitable to happen. Do you know what I mean? So you're kind of like, uh why did he not expect them shots in the back of the head when he was ducking his head so low? Like Tommy Fury was just trying to hit. Maybe they were on purpose, but it kind of looked like Tommy Fury was just trying to land right hooks and left hooks and stuff. But ultimately, they were just landing on the back of the head because his head was ducked down so low.
Yeah, so you've dodged the question. Who do you think should have won the fight?
I think I wouldn't say I would have been a bit more not upset, but like upset if I would have went to KSI. I think Tommy Fury did win that fight. To be honest, he was the more aggressive boxer throughout the fight, and I think it was a fair decision to go against your opinion because you think KSI won that fight, didn't you?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like something different, like a draw. All right, go. Well, all right. I wouldn't.
Nah, draws are born. Nah, with no draws
But
are born.
it's good to have a bit of what's the word? What?
Controversy.
Yes, that's the word. It's good to have a wee bit of controversy, but nah, I feel like he definitely didn't lose it. Like he did not lose that fight. I don't think.
What did you think about his reaction after the fight when he went on the big rant after? Do you think that was a
Um,
wee bit like lad shush or?
um, See, for a guy like KSI, he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. He like works hard. Like when he works, he's not just saying, "Oh, I'm working in behind the scenes, doing nothing about it." He's generally putting in that work, and for him to
Mm,
finally get his first ever loss, he doesn't take losses, and the fact that he's got his first loss, it's just hard to like believe that it happened. If you get me, so I can really, really, really can understand where he's coming from in the sense that it's hard to take that all in that quick space of time. He's the idea that
yeah,
like, oh, I've actually lost. If you get me, but I feel like it will be appealed, and I feel like it'll change the draw. So, but I can see where he's coming from. Maybe he could have handled it maybe a wee bit better. But see, when you've just got that mindset of I cannot lose, and you've lost in
yeah,
that scenario, it's so hard to like in the space of less than 5 minutes to comprehend that.
yeah.
So
It's
I can see
just
I can where he's come from.
yeah. To be fair, I understand why his emotions were so high. Like his emotions were so high after the fight because obviously after a fight, like you get the fattest adrenaline dump that you've ever had in your life. It's like I don't know, it's equivalent to some strong drugs. I don't know, like I don't know, cocaine or something. And you
You would know
dead
what?
on that. You've seen yourself of like Anthony Joshua and stuff like the big massive adrenaline dump he had, and he's just absolutely talking madness after one of his fights after lost. You know what I mean? It's just like I think it's just down to the adrenaline dump and just talking madness. So it is.
Yeah, 100%. Jake Paul actually had a go at him online saying, uh, you hand that loss like you know, he didn't handle a loss well, and I handled it like a king. I was like showing the young generation how to handle a loss and come back and get a win. And while you were complaining about it and crying, basically, you saying the KSI on Twitter.
Yeah, fair. So overall opinion of the card, what did you think?
Well, if we go to the fights down below, I thought that not the main card and the co-main card, the rest was some of them were very good. Like Saul Poppy versus Slim,
Yeah,
like Slim was getting beat the first 2 rounds, and then Saul Poppy just came out. Not Saul, all the way around. Sorry, Saul Poppy was winning the first 2 rounds, and Slim just came out and knocked him out. So I thought it was class. Dean the Great versus Waleed, is it or something like that? That was
yeah,
another great
yeah.
fight. They fought each other previously, and it was a great fight. There now, also a great fight. So overall, if I had to rate it on a score of 1 to 10, I would say a 7.4,
7.4.
maybe
That's
maybe 7.6.
yeah. I probably along the same lines. To be fair, I think it's doing a massive benefit to the sport of boxing. Obviously, with the likes of the UFC and MMA, all eyes are kind of being taken off boxing just due based down to the action as with society and all, even action movies and all, everyone's just obsessed with action. And when you kind of get a sport where it's like a chess match and it's a bit slower, like boxing on the post to MMA, um, people will more tend to gravitate towards the one with the most action. So I do think it does a great service, sorry, to the sport of boxing, bringing out young eyes, especially with the people that follow them. So I think it's good. But my what I would give the card out of 10, I'm probably the same as you, around 7 or so. 7, yeah.
Yeah. See what you were saying there about the entertainment wise. The reason why I feel like YouTuber boxing is, in my opinion, more entertaining than actual boxing. In my opinion, is because people feel like they can relate more to the fighters they promote more, and they also
Yeah.
feel like they can relate more. So they're like, "Oh no, look, I watch all his videos. I've seen where he's come from here all the way up to here. I can do that." So they feel like they can relate. In my opinion, so that's why I feel like they get more views and more eyeballs potentially.
Yeah, 100%. It's all like emotional. No, I mean they're selling their personality, they're selling the whole story. Though that is came down to this one moment when they step inside the ring, and I think it's a massive thing in the whole world. No, I mean, like it's all about selling the stories. No, I mean, yes, like, well, I'll take an example. Say like Apple products compared to like the likes of Samsung. Apple sell you a story. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like the features that like attached to uh that say like the actual phone. No, I mean with Apple you're paying £2,000 for a phone, whereas Samsung you're probably paying something similar, maybe a bit less. But what the likes of these Android phone companies do is they sell the features, opposed to Apple. Like um, Apple sell the story. No, I mean they sell the status of having an Apple product, and they have all these products, and it's a whole family. No, I mean you have MacBooks, you have Apple Watches, you have what else is there, iPads and stuff like that. I was listening to a podcast with Stephen Bartlett and Chris Williams the other day. They kind of talk about that the frame is more important than the picture, meaning like when you used to walk in before Apple stores were really a thing, you used to walk into like an electronics store, and like it would be an absolute jungle of wires, the jungle of electronics, and if you're like your environment is a massive thing when it comes down. Like you need to have like a what would be the word? A clean environment in order to highlight the products, and it's also what we kind of spoke about in the last episode of a scarcity mindset. When you walk in an Apple store, they only have one of each product sitting on the table, whereas if you're in these other electronic stores, they have multiple of the products. So you're thinking, oh, there's plenty of these. I'm in no rush to buy these. So Apple sell this scarcity mindset to you, and like this whole status device, and it's kind of I know I've went on a bit of a rant here from YouTuber boxing, but do you know what I mean? It's kind of just the whole story of the thing is the point I'm trying to get at. It's like we like me and you, we've both watched KSI not grow up as such, but we've followed him kind of since he was playing FIFA in his bedroom, and now we kind of look at what he's doing. Like it's been a whole story, a whole whirlwind of emotions from the very start of him playing FIFA to where he is now.
Yeah, I just feel like you can relate more and stuff. Yeah. About that one product in the store, I think that's so smart. That is
Mm.
so smart. Like, see, psychologically, if I walked in the store and I say, for example, right, I love chocolate. I see I see only one chocolate bar there, right? And during the week I don't eat chocolate during the week. So if I see a one chocolate bar during the week, if I know there's only one chocolate bar, I'm like, oh, I need to get that for that weekend. If I don't get that, then there's going to be none left for the weekend, like something like that. For example, very smart. So it is.
Yeah, it's like, do you ever get when you go on Netflix, lad, and you're just scrolling down, like there's so much to pick from. You're like, lad, what do I actually watch here? There's so much stuff to pick from here. Like, what am I gonna pick? Whereas, say, like, kind of like an opposition example of that would be like if you go to the cinema, there's three movies. No, I mean it's gonna be a lot easier to pick between three than it is to pick between 3,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what they also do? This relates to the topic we're talking about. They also say expires on the 24th or something like that. So it means, oh, I've only got this amount of time to watch it. So that's all my thinking. Oh, if I don't watch this, I'm not gonna be able to watch it again. So yeah, that's another tactic they would use as well. And here I'll talk about another example. Here, I booked my flights to Liverpool there for Halloween, and I had originally wanted to book it just for me, and it said there was only one seat left. I was like, oh right, I want that time. I want that one seat. So I clicked off it because my mate had said to me, can you book me on as well? So I clicked off and went to book on two. Went back. It didn't say there was one seat left on the same flight. Smart, in it.
Yeah, it's all about
Smart.
the scarcity mindset. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Being
So I was
engraved into you.
100%. So that was their way of trying to hook me in to buy that one flight. So it was very smart.
Yeah, we talk, Jack, a lot about like kind of stuff like that, like business and like side hustles on the podcast. I was just kind of thinking the other day, like, well, what would you say to like kind of people who, this is kind of a different topic, but what would you say to people like, say, someone in our position, kind of just trying to work out what to do, like say they don't know what they want to work towards, or they're bombarded with these constant messages with social media, like, oh, they need to work on something. Like, what would you say to people like who haven't found their purpose, so to speak, yet? What would you?
I have one of my best mates, and he will watch this, so he will, and you hopefully you'll probably know who I'm talking about, but he's one of my, he probably is my best mate to be fair. He says to me, he doesn't know what he's to do, in the sense that he's stuck in two minds on these two subjects, right? And I'm here in the middle. These two. I'm here. He's going left. He's going right. He doesn't know where to go. My first reaction and my first thing I said to him, look, the worst thing you can do is not pick one at all. The
Mm,
worst thing you can do is not start something or not go towards something, because then you're staying the same. It's better to go left. It's better to go right than not go left or right at all. So pick something and go for it. That's what I would say. I try as much thing as possible. I would say I still haven't tried enough. To be honest, that's why, for
mm,
example, we're starting this podcast. We've never done something like this, but why not try? Start. The hardest thing you can do is start. And once you start, I actually shared something. You probably seen it. I seen you liked it. Small wins build momentum. This is a small win. We've never done this before. Me getting out of my bed, just small, like, just build momentum that way. But yeah, start. If I had to give someone a thing and they're stuck in two minds, or what to start anything. Just start. The worst thing you can do is not start at all.
yeah.
What would your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was just kind of listening to something that I kind of read a quote the other day. It goes, in life you gotta take chances. The hell with shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you don't try, you will never know the outcome. So kind of just what you said. If you don't actually make a decision in the first place, you're going to end up stuck in the same place. Like, this is kind of what we did with this podcast. Like, obviously we knew, like, not that we were scared, so to speak, to start the podcast, but we kind of were like, not like slightly hesitant to start the podcast, just based on the potential reactions that people are going to have towards us starting a podcast, being like, oh, who are you to start a podcast? But like, as you spoke about, you haven't tried enough stuff in your life. No, I mean, and either have I completely agree. I haven't tried enough stuff in my life, and like kind of what this podcast is one of them situations where me and York is trying to kind of trend, because like, you will never actually find out what you enjoy if you don't try. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, 100%. And here, you can try and keep trying and chase after it, and never know whether you'll be able to achieve it or not, or what thing you can. It's a certain fact. If you don't try it, you're never going to succeed. But if you do try it, there's always going to be a chance. You're never going to fail. Like, you're going to fail, but you're never going to know whether what you can reach. But with not starting, you're never going to reach. So, like, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think it is, like, people kind of, the way you were speaking about the two choices about left or right? Why do you kind of think that people are so scared to pick one choice when ultimately they will have to pick a choice?
Because they're scared of the outcome that may oppose itself with the choice they make. But when in actual fact, the worst thing you do is not picking a choice at all. Because if you go left and a choice you didn't want, well, guess what? You can always go right again. Right, or it's a choice I didn't like. Right, and now I can go left. Stay in the middle. Well, now you haven't even picked, so now you don't even know which one you wanted. That way.
Yeah, it's also like a process that takes time as well. Do you know what I mean? Some people don't find the purpose until they're 80 years old. Some people find it when they're 8 years old. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of just a situation of trying everything. Some people get lucky, like when they're younger and they find their purpose straight away. But like, it's kind of like one of them things. You got to make a decision, because in life, like, as humans, we're kind of like, we're conditioned to be workers. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's literally engraved in our DNA. When we're not working towards something, or working for something, we kind of lose motivation, which can ultimately like lead to like unhappy thoughts, depression potentially. Do you know what I mean? If it gets really bad, so like, kind of just try everything. And don't actually care what people care. Don't be scared of the outcomes actually of what could happen,
Yeah.
because something great could happen.
100%. Yeah. On the thing, on the topic we're talking about, when we say try, do something, actually try. There was the podcast between Stephen Bartlett and Chris Williams. they actually said it with it. I don't know if you probably watched this because you said you did. But he was saying talking to your mates about doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Walking to the shop, listening to stuff isn't doing the thing. Saying to your friends or family that you're going to do the thing. Eating a pizza and thinking about it, but not isn't doing the thing. The only thing's doing the thing is actually doing the thing. So yeah,
Literally.
do you remember? Did you listen to that bit of it?
I actually didn't even listen to the whole podcast. I was kind of just listening to it pretty briefly. So I kind of
Yeah,
got like the way they talked about 17. It was like 17 like points they hit.
yeah.
I think I must have listened to the first two or three maybe.
I'm on the same boat. I just listened to wee clips of it. But yeah, so doing this, you're not doing it. It's doing something. Doing the thing is doing the thing, but doing anything else is not doing the thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
just
literally just procrastination of doing the thing. So it is.
yeah, I'm chatting man. Procrastination.
Yeah.
It'll bring a bill of regret, as I would say.
Literally. But what do you think? Kind of like that whole links to like motivation because obviously you hear a lot of people talk about how unmotivated they are to do things, but like it's kind of like when you're working towards something.
Motivations for the week.
Oh, what do you mean? Elaborate.
In the sense that right, motivation gets you started, but
Mm,
it can't be sustainable. In the sense that there's days that every one of us do stuff we do not like doing, but we know it has to get done. There's not every day you're going to feel motivated. Yes, motivation gets you started, but what's going to get you to keep going consistently is discipline, self discipline. Motivation is not something that is going to be there forever. So, yeah. So when motivation you have it, happy days, take action, get to work. But on the days you don't feel like doing it, that's where discipline does come into play, and that's where it can ultimately get you to where you want to be.
yeah, it's kind of like all them videos you see on YouTube and TikTok about the perfect morning routine or the perfect daily routine to like do the stuff that you need to do. It's kind of ultimately all that there is just mental masturbation, so to speak, because it motivation, as you literally just said, it exists obviously for the first wee while, but it dissipates very quickly. So discipline is the ultimate factor to success in any field, whether it be becoming the one of the biggest sports stars, and I don't know whether it's boxing or whether you're literally just doing schoolwork. Discipline is massive.
Yeah, for anyone watching this, name me a time you've done something you think that's great, whether it's pass this maths test or run a marathon, whatever it is, something great that you've done. If you're telling me every day you were motivated to revise for that test or go for that run, then I don't think you would have passed that test or run that marathon. But if you looked at the times you were disciplined to go on that run, even when you didn't feel like doing it, or do that or do the revise for that test, the discipline you installed in yourself, that is generally what got you to pass that test and do the marathon, not the motivation. Motivation got you started.
Yeah, it's kind of like in order to be great. Well, well, yeah. Or in order to be great, you got to do shit things. Ultimately, like things that don't feel good in the time are almost always the most beneficial things. Like even a really simple example is jumping in an ice bath. In the time, it is the most unenjoyable experience in the world. But seeing you when you bounce out of that ice bath and for the next 3, 4, 5 hours, um, they've kind of discovered that it actually increases your dopamine by 2.5, two and a half times, which is the same amount that cocaine does. But with the ice bath, it is over the period of 3 or 4 hours, where with cocaine, it's actually just, no, what is it, like 30, 40 seconds. So things that feel shit are meant to feel shit, but ultimately, they offer more benefit, and that is also down to discipline.
Yeah, although we haven't done the most amount of ice baths, why do you think people do ice baths? Is that why? Do you think?
Um, To be fair, I just do ice baths because listen to Joe Rogan too much times, lad. To be honest.
Well, I'll be honest, yeah, I'm not a guy that does ice baths on a daily basis or a weekly basis, or maybe not even a monthly basis. I used to be for like a wee while, but yeah, the reason why I originally done it sometimes was obviously for recovery because I was training hard at the time. Uh, but it also builds in a bit of discipline, or it also gets you in the habit of doing stuff you don't like doing, and after reaping the rewards from it. So it is. So yeah, I think that's why loads of people. Well, personally, that's why I think loads of people do ice baths to build discipline in themselves and also to reap the
Yeah.
rewards of doing stuff you don't like doing. Getting you in that habit.
Yeah, no, I was only talking about the Joe Rogan thing, but yeah, literally just going off the point you said, I think it's just down to like building mental strength, like as we've seen before, like kind of if you like lack in certain areas of life, whether they be like so small, like jumping in cold water, it kind of translate into other aspects of your life. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of just building mental toughness, and obviously the physical recovery benefits kind of helping with inflation and stuff of the muscles. So and that with increased brown fat and stuff. So
Yeah, I suppose that's actually very underrated. To be honest, actually very very good for the body, like good for the mind as
the
well. You just don't like doing them, like do what do you?
nah, they're brutal, and especially in the winters we have like
Oh, 100%. Like,
absolutely horrendous. Why do? How often would you do ice baths, Jack? You spoke oh, just a few times, or
recently at this current moment in time, not often at all. But when I was
mm,
back when I would do football academy, I would say once every 2 weeks maybe. I actually used to have once every Sunday, about
mm,
two seasons ago. And this was playing football, what, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, and then gym and stuff.
yeah. I always remember the time, Jack. Remember when just kind of any viewers from back home, if you know about it, Brompton Road, me and Jack kind of what was it, December time we went, lad.
It was cold, like.
Um, yeah, it was absolutely freezing. I was walking down, not acting a big man, but I was like, "Oh, here, I'll do this. No sweat, lad. No sweat." Jump in, straight back out, lad. Absolutely frozen, lad. And the rocks are dead sharp down there, and my feet were aching. But see, ever since then, Jack beat me. He done like 3 minutes. I was like, right, that's never happened again. See, since then, I've been taking cold showers. I literally bought an ice bath back home, one of them inflatable ones. Bought one over here in Liverpool. I'm like, next time the situation comes, lad, in Brompton Road, I'm gonna stay in twice as long as Jack will stay in. Never, that will never happen to me again.
In my mind, that's impossible. Like, but yeah, going off that topic of the subject where we had went down and jumped into the water in Bangor. There was a time, so this same day, me and Danny were actually walking down to get in, and we had planned this day to go down and jump in the water. But realistically, we're both very hesitant to even jump in. But do you know what actually made us? Well, we already discussed this. What actually made us both jump in originally is because we already seen two people in the water, and if we didn't jump in, then we would have looked like absolute, two tools. We would look like, yeah, we wouldn't have looked like the, hardest men alive. Like anyway, so it's actually mad what other people's the fact that other people were there was the only reason, well, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons why we actually ended up getting in that quick as we did. So it's mad. Danny, what's your thoughts on that? About people just being there and you doing it just because they're there. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's just down to ego. Do you know what I mean? Even just going off you, like I seen you jumping, I was like, right, I have to jump in here. Do you know what I mean? Jack's jumped in. I always remember another example. Do you remember like when we were younger, we kind of like went when we went to like the youth club and stuff when we were younger, we went like cliff jumping with the youth club, and I was actually speaking to someone recently about it, and he was actually telling me like how high the cliff we were jumping off was because it's like a spot he goes pretty regularly. It's like kind of up the side of Dunluce Castle, up the north coast of Antrim. And I was sitting saying to him, oh, I was jumping off that one there. Then we were doing all these jumps, maybe like 30 foot, 20 foot, 30 foot, and we were like, oh, this is class. This is the fella taking us was like, oh, this is so high, this is so high. And all, you know what I mean? We were like, oh, the proper second. He's like, he just looked at, it, he's like, what? This is proper. He's like, see you see the last one. I'm like, what do you mean? And we went up, lad. I was talking to someone recently, as I said, he told me the actual height of it. It was 90 foot, and I think I want to say maybe McNahero here as one of the first ones to go. And I was looking around, everyone like I was like, right, all my mates are here. I have to jump off this, lad, or I'm a bitch. So I jump off this, lad. I have never hit water harder in my life. The biggest slap I ever hit water. But yeah, it's kind of that's was
Uh,
landed on my point I was talking about. It's all ego because my mates are like, I want to look like I'm hard. You know what I mean?
yeah, I hear but I think that's a good thing. It's good to have people around you. You want to you're going to do it anyway, but they're like right now I have to because they're all doing it. But yeah, actually, what was funny about that story? I was actually the last one to jump in, and the only reason I was scared. I wasn't fond of jumping in, but um because I had seen everyone else do it, I was like, right, I'm not being the only one not to do it. Like, so yeah, sometimes when it's scared to
Yeah.
jump, you have to jump, eh?
Literally, it was all another situation. Was literally there was no other way down. To be fair, like you had to jump, lad.
Yeah, 100%. We've had a few stories in them clubs that we have.
Yeah, but it just shows you like healthy competitiveness and surround yourself with the right people, and kind of what we spoke about with frame. Like the frame is more important than the picture in certain cases. Like the frame that you surround your life with, the people who surround your life with around surround your life, um, is the frame ultimately that you carry, and like it's the mindset that you have, it's the things you do, it's the things you say, is ultimately like they also spoke about in that podcast. I don't know if you recall, Jack, about that we don't actually pick our opinions. Do you remember that bit, or did you watch that bit?
No, I haven't much about. Carry on with what happened.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like anything. Obviously, as humans, we are literally just a product of our environment. This is kind of what I took from it. Like we are a product of our environment, and depending on the environment that we were in, it creates certain opinions we have from when we were younger and we carry through. And we all think that we pick our opinions, but we don't actually pick our opinions. Just kind of the content and the people and the conversation that we are surrounded through without life are all be the ones that decide our opinions for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so the best way to change your circumstances is to change your surroundings.
Yeah, I would
Actually,
say
say something.
so. Yeah.
What was I gonna say there? It's like at saying like you don't see a boxer going into for a training camp with like going into a boxing camp with like not boxers around them. No, I mean they're not gonna go to a boxing camp and get ready for have a boxing fight. They're not train with actual boxers around them and like do a camp with boxers. You're not gonna go do it with footballers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally, you can't cut grass unless you're in the garden. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Clip it. That's mine. That's my quote, lad.
I've heard that one before.
Have you?
No, I haven't. No, no.
Oh, right, fair. What you said, yeah, I was like, what do you mean? I just made that on top of my head. But
That's mad. Like,
yeah. But here, you asked questions on one of our Instagram stories. Do you wanna get them questions up, and we'll both kind of play off each other and ask them?
we have got a hell of a lot of questions here. What was I gonna say to you? Hold on a minute, guys. Here, before I get into this, here, thanks for the support. We've got 42 followers on Instagram, and on top of that, on YouTube, we are have hit. I think we might have hit the 30 subscriber mark. Have we?
I don't know. How about check? Let me check here.
Yeah, I checked there quickly. I'm trying to do it now. Yep, we have checked that out with 30 subscribers. Anyway, so we'll go into questions. We'll go into. I'm gonna go into my pages first, and then we'll go into our actual Instagram page.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. So, da-da-da. Right. Quote of the day.
That's all you. That's all you,
Quote
lad.
of the day. Right. Quote of the day. What could be a quote? Right. Let me think of one on top of the head here.
We've said a few to be fair. This is one I'll say mine first.
Oh, you go ahead.
Sure. This is I've already said it, but I'll say it again on the podcast. This is one that I quite enjoy. It's the Chris Williams one. In life, you got to take chances. The hell with shoulda, coulda, woulda. If you don't try, you will never know the outcome.
Oh, I like it, like it, like it.
I like that one as well.
Yeah. What kind of quote could I think of? I can't really think of one.
Nah.
My brains went numb here. Can't even think. Oh, I'll just think of some cringy one on the head. Right? Shoot for the stars, and if you fall, land on the clouds. There you go. So, I mean, I can't even
Wisdom,
think of
brother.
one.
Wisdom.
That's a bad one, Lee. For next time, I'm telling you, see from now on, I'm gonna start a podcast with a good quote. Like, anyway, next one. You wee. One of my mates goes to me. When are you gonna score?
Oh,
Man has been on a goal drought. Like I lie, like man has been on one. I've been scoring penalties, but missing penalties.
the
Uh,
king's not scoring.
the Kings not scoring, but here around this time is where the Kings started scoring. Like I'd say, I think came up my memories there. I think last week I scored a hat trick against Limafati. So last year I was banging them in. This year. But anyway, here we'll turn the tide, as I would say. But So now I'm going to go to my other page here. Right. Thoughts on the KSI fight? I think we've already talked about that one.
Yeah, I've touched on that.
We've touched on that enough, right? We're going to go just in Today podcast, right? So, what's one thing your business / successful venture that you didn't expect?
Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead, mate. You go first. Let's see.
What's one thing your business successful venture did that you didn't expect? Um, Probably just kind of the challenges and stuff that come up when kind of doing stuff like that. Like last year when I was kind of trying to set up a marketing agency, just the challenges that came up and like the much what would be the word, administration stuff that you had to do in order to carry it out, and obviously how hard it is to actually like get close clients and things like that. What about you?
Um, what's one thing your business / success venture did that you didn't expect? Um, yeah, I would say the process they had to actually have to go through. Like I kept on watching like things and how to do stuff, but I just kept watching it and just never actually took the action. I think I was just telling all the stories in my head that I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. But when I actually started like running towards it and actually started putting it in the work, then it started to be more successful. And it's like anything really, doing as I was saying earlier, procrastinating, not doing the things, not doing the thing. So do the thing kind of thing. But anyway, what's your favorite color, and what and what does that say about you, Danny?
I don't even know what my favorite color is, to be honest, lad. Uh,
When I was younger, mine was orange, like, but I mean, it doesn't really say much about me, like.
yeah, I don't know. Probably, I don't know, red. I'm wearing red. I'll say red. That doesn't really say much about me either. Maybe like
Not the best of questions, like.
Mason Man, Curly's wife, wearing the red dress, lad.
Do you hear the story about the woman in the red dress?
Yeah, the Matrix, lad.
Yeah, the Matrix.
I'm
Yeah.
on it. Which pill are you taking, lad?
uh, what would be the title of the book about you if your enemy wrote it?
um, Probably the man with the most annoying laugh when he finds something really funny, lad. I have the most annoying laugh in the world. I don't know why I came into my head, lad, but literally, lad, sound like a frog or rabbiting.
Yeah, mine would be, I don't know, Crazy Frog, because I was crazy like back in the day. Like I was, I've had I don't know, Crazy Frog.
Crazy frog.
I
Ah,
was
ding
crazy.
ding.
Ding ding. I was Crazy Frog back in the day, mate. So, that's where my enemy was
Right.
at.
Here, I'll ask, don't me to ask you the
Go
next
ahead.
few, Jack. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh. And if you know me well, you'll know the answer to this question already. It
Is
is.
this?
Go ahead.
I think he's gonna say this man that who is on this podcast with me right now, puts spaghetti bolognese in a wrap. Absolute criminal behavior.
That's
Criminal
not.
behavior.
That's my favorite food, and it is my favorite meal. But that is not what I was going to say there. But that is not criminal behavior. If you don't know, get to know. Anyone watching, spaghetti bolognese with wraps is literally about 59 out of 10. Like, but what I was going to say was,
I
if
know
you
what you're
know
gonna
me
say.
well,
Actually,
go ahead. What else to say?
it's gonna be salmon and rice in a wrap with mayo, lad. The
Well,
only thing is, man
that is
eats.
great, but I wouldn't have it with mayo or a wrap anymore. Just salmon and rice. But it's fucking oh
Oh,
yep. That's the wrap. That's the meal I would have every day. Rest of it. What about yourself, Danny? If you had to have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
my meal for the rest of my life would be the same thing I eat more or less every single day. It would be chicken in a wrap with lettuce. Because it's my last meal, I'll throw a bit of bacon in the wrap with mayo, bit of sriracha, bit of tomato, bit of pepper. Lad, I could eat that. I already eat that every day. No, man, I could eat that no sweat for the rest of my life.
And guys, see, to be honest with you, like when Danny says this meal, I've have a first hand experience of trying it in Isle of Man, and it's nice. Like anyway, go ahead, Danny. Ask the next one.
Next one. What do you think the world will look like in 50 years?
The world will look like in 50 years. I think there'll be a lot more AI generated stuff. I think it'll be used as an advantage and not a disadvantage. I feel like there'll be have its pros. It'll also have its cons, like all things. I feel like the everyone there'll be a lot less middle class. There'll just be have like rich and poor. I don't think there'll be much middle class at all, to be honest. In 50 years, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like there'll be a lot less people leaving their houses and more online, as in like ordering food to the house and not actually leaving their gaff as much. I feel like.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to ask something quickly there first. See, with your point about the AI, you kind of hear all the time about people saying that AI is going to replace humans. Humans are going to have no place on the earth, kind of, because there'll be no jobs because AI will take over everything. Do you think that holds true, or do you think that won't be the case?
It could be the case, but I don't think it's the case. In the sense that they say AI, people say AI is taking over the world and all the rest of it. And it's saying they're not wrong, but they're not right in the sense that like everyone has AI right now. Like I have downstairs in my thing. What do you call them? Play
Alexa?
music. Alexa, I have an Alexa. You talk to it, and boom, it knows your. That is literally a virtual AI in your house. That's in most houses, so it's actually there to assist you, not replace you. I feel that that's why it's been created. Although, in saying that, yes, it might take up some people's jobs, some people, but it wouldn't be the jobs that I originally thought at the start. So it wouldn't be.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that point. Like, I don't think AI will completely take over people's jobs and people's roles because, um, obviously they say history repeats itself or acts very similarly, and we go kind of go in patterns. Kind of when you think back to examples such as the Industrial Revolution, people had the exact same mindset, like, oh, these machines are all going to take our jobs. We're going to have nothing to do. But then for the next, 50, 60 years until we can't, well, what was the Industrial Revolution? The 1800s, wasn't it? So the next 200 years, people still had jobs. You know what I mean? So I don't think AI will replace human input in jobs, especially in industries such as the creative industries, like the likes of I don't know, examples, just filmmaking or art or kind of just content creation, because human input is is a massive factor when it's put into when it's put into these genres. Obviously, there people may say the point like, yeah, but AI can create films and create movies, but what AI does is it goes off past data, and when you look at films and stuff like what would you call it, industries that are constantly evolving, there has to be some sort of human input, or we're just going to stay in the same place watching the same movies. And that's not the case, because um, humans like to progress and like move on to new ideas and fresh ideas. So with AI, I don't think that will be the case overall in humanity. Yes, it will replace certain roles, but I think it will offer major benefit in that it will create a lot of rules as well.
It'll make things a lot more quicker, but I also feel like that it's gonna be hard to know what's real and what's fake when we're older. In this, are we more than 50 years? In the sense that there'll be like, if there is still Facebook and Instagram, which there probably will be, or there'll be something like similar, but there'll also be like a robot, and I feel like it'll be a robot with like a do you know where you see like a certification tick? It'll be like a certification tick for a robot, so like it's a robot. I feel like something like that might actually happen, like generally in live music one, there to assist you kind of thing. I feel that could actually happen, which is a bit mad.
Yeah. But yeah, but I think the world will look like in 50 years. You asked me, I kind of went off in a rant there. I don't know. I think pretty similar, to be fair, to what it currently looks like now, and kind of in a physical appearance. But especially in the UK and things like that. In terms of technology, I think technology might. I think it will be along the same lines, because obviously when you look back at like Back to the Future, they kind of predict in what year, like in the year 2000s, they're going to have hoverboards. Everyone's floating about hoverboards, and it ended up being a wee tricycle with two wheels that people were floating about on, electric scooters. But I think that people like say that in sci-fi movies because it's mental. We couldn't think of that, but why would we create that? It's completely not unusable, but it's not a convenient things to use. I think every car on the road probably will be electric, which is obviously beneficial in certain aspects. not beneficial on others, because it kind of boils down to where the electricity is coming from. If they're coming from gas and coal plants, then it's still fossil fuels being burnt.
I also feel with that topic you're just talking about, they'll be able to control us more in the sense that they can just, if you're not listening to the government or people higher up in the government, they're just gonna go switch the car off, boom, not to leave your house. COVID-19 happens, or COVID, whatever it is, happens, and we have to somehow all stay in our houses again, and we go to leave our house. Oh, you're in the car, boom, turn the car off. That'll be
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, I feel like we have way more control, but when it comes to that.
just going off that point, I don't think, even with cars, I don't think car ownership will be a thing. We've kind of seen the big cities in America already, where they kind of have car sharing services where people can share cars and just rent the car for like a day, an hour or two. So I don't, and I think that, as you said, a lot of goods that we use every day, like our cars or our houses, will be like we've seen in mainland Europe, where everything is rent. I think a lot of people will gravitate more towards the rent model, and car will be the exact same. It'll be like a subscription service like Netflix, or like, I don't know, Spotify, where we use a car who is owned by a company like that, which would the point you're kind of going off would be able to be controlled a lot more than actually owning your own goods. But financially, people will gravitate towards that because financially it makes sense, because it's far cheaper than actually owning a car or another type of asset.
I'd 100% agree, like 100%. Right, I'll ask you this question then. So, what do you think the world what do you think the world will look like in 5 years?
In 5 years, the exact same in Ireland. Will have won a World Cup, hopefully, lad.
In 5 years,
Only,
Euros.
only so the Euros, lad.
Right.
Nah. To be fair, I don't know. What do you think?
Um, it's clearly answered. You don't know, but I would be intrigued with the money situation because I know, in my opinion, they're trying to like make real life money be all online, and there's no such thing as cash. I feel like they're trying to do that, but I don't think that will happen in the next 5 years. I think it'll be a longer process. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much.
I do you think in the next 5 years obviously we're kind of on the verge right now of a recession, but obviously as a recession happens, the property market tends to follow. Do you think that there will be a massive downfall in the pricing of like housing or other assets like that?
I feel like there was a great opportunity already a wee while ago there to buy houses, but I feel like yeah, there will be definitely another opportunity, another window, because if you actually look at the housing market, I think it's every 10 years it goes up by like, I want to say, I can't remember the exact stat, but it goes up in value by like 10% or something like that, or maybe 5% every 10 years on average, and this has been going over for hundred of years or so, or maybe 60 years or so, and that was just pretty mad, like the mad stats. So it is. So even when the houses are falling, they always every 10 years go up like 5% or 10% or something like that. But yeah. Um, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Um, I think, I don't know, probably just something simple like when people have zero manners,
Yeah, it's just
something
disrespectful,
like
isn't it?
that. Yeah. What would be
Yeah.
yours?
Um, pet peeve. People like I'm not gonna say I don't do this because it's a bit of a hypocrite. People say they're gonna like do something and just never do it. Like never do it, and I can't say much because I've 100% said stuff I'm gonna do and I haven't done 100%. But I'm trying my best at the minute to do stuff that I say I'm gonna do more often. But I just feel like people have so much more potential than their things. So it's kind of a pet peeve, not really a pet peeve, like, but like kind of like. The next best thing that would probably be smelly people, maybe like just, it's like just leaving, like just nah. But
Being hypocritical.
yeah,
Being a
yeah,
hypocrite again, mate.
I do 100%. But yeah, no, I don't really have pet peeve, not really. You know what I mean? If you had to rate a book tomorrow, what would you rate about?
Um, I don't know. To be fair, probably just like you answer first. You answer first, and I'll think of an answer while you're talking.
I would rate about what I've got up to over the past 21, not 21, but 21 and a wee bit years, and what I've got up to so far. But in saying that, I would never finish the book because I've got a hell of a lot of pages to still write. So, yeah, that's how I would do.
Yeah. I think I'd probably write a book. Like, do you ever read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius? It's like, do you?
No, I've never heard of it. No.
So Roman, this is going to go on about the whole Roman Empire and everyone thinking about the Roman Empire and everyone going mental about the Roman Empire at the minute. So Marcus Aurelius was an emperor within the Roman Empire, and he kind of had like a journal he kept when he was emperor of Rome, and he went through all these challenges. But like a lot of the books very relatable to today's life, and stuff like challenges when he's lacking motivation, how he has to get out of bed, but he has an empire to run. So maybe just like my thoughts in certain days and kind of looking back about thinking my thoughts and stuff. I don't know. Maybe just yeah, something along them lines. Maybe
Nah, that's sick. Before I carry on the next thing, have you got a do you journal at all? No.
I don't, but it's something I actually would love to get into.
I'm on the same boat. It's something I actually feel like I would love to get into. Like, I see when I look back, I have a book. I do have a book, and over the past like 20 years, I think I've written it like 3 times. Like, I'm not certain. Like, if you look back, maybe I've done it once this year, once about 10 years. Like, no, I not consistently done it once a month or anything like that. So yeah, it's something I would actually look into doing more journaling. I think that's pretty sick. But yeah, I'll ask one more question. You ask the next one after that. If you won 10 million pounds tomorrow, what would you spend it on?
If I won £10 million tomorrow, what would I spend it on? I'm probably gonna be a born and not buy something. I don't know. Probably would buy something flashy, maybe a new motor, like. But the rest of it, I'd probably donate a wee bit to charity. You know what I mean? Be humble. Then the rest, I'd maybe go stick in like an index fund or something and let it cook for a few years. So when I go to retire, it'd be a good wee bit of dough. You know what I mean? For me.
Yeah, for me, I would do the same. If I if I won 10 million pound tomorrow, I would spend it on putting money into an index fund. So then, when I retire, I would be minted. And
Yeah.
also, I'd probably put my if my man dad have any bills to pay for, I'd probably sort them
Yeah.
out, or my family, or anyone like who has had a significant impact in my life so far. I would love to help them out in a way, and then after that, I would probably spend on a few stuff like a few houses or something, or like I don't know, a pipe we holiday or something like something like. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
I
gonna.
definitely. I would definitely spend it more wisely, like so, just in case.
You probably would go on a wee bit of a bender, like, wouldn't you?
Oh,
Like.
100%. You have to, like.
I
Go
mean,
ahead. You go ahead.
I'll ask the next question. Jack Gray.
Jack
Someone
Gray.
asked the question: are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Am I an introvert or an extrovert? Um, I said extrovert. Is extrovert the one that's more outgoing and hanging out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm an extrovert. I would say there's periods in my life where I've been an introvert, in the sense that
Mm,
I've been, hesitant to talk and a bit shy and thing. But that's when you know I'm not being me. That's when you know I'm not comfortable in where I am. But when I'm generally being me and comfortable in the situation and the environment that I'm in, I'm an extrovert 100%. But if you ever see me being an introvert, that's when you know I'm not in a comfortable situation, or I'm not familiar with my surroundings, in the sense that I don't feel like I can be myself, if you get me. So if you see me and I'm being extra loud and talking away, or like, you know, thing, yeah, I would say I'm very hang. But I feel like everyone could be both in my sense. But if I had to pick one or the other, I'd say I'm extrovert. I'm very outgoing, and I do like talking away to people. What about yourself, Danny? Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Um, See, I don't know. Like, kind of as you said, you don't see it as either one or the other. I kind of in the same light. I kind of see it as like more of a spectrum. I would say maybe I wouldn't say I'm a complete introvert, but I would say I'm introverted a wee bit. But I can be extroverted, so I don't want to be born and say I'm bang in the middle between them. But I would maybe say I'm pushing more between introvert a wee bit. But I do really really enjoy talking to people and meeting new people. So it's tricky, but I would maybe say in the middle.
If I had to uptake an opinion on you within them two, I'd say you're bang on. Like, you are both. Like you can
The
be. It's like me. We can both do no in that way. I get what you're saying. Go ahead, Danny. Next question.
Oh, I'm on the next question. Oof, oof, oof. Um, What was your favorite subject in school?
What was my favorite subject in school? Well, most people who know me would know this, but some people wouldn't, in the sense that they would think I would say football and sport. They would say I'm picking sports P all day, but that's actually not the case. I would pick maths. I love maths, and it's something if I it's something you need for everyday life, everyday interactions. I feel like maths is a very good component that benefit you. But I feel like I actually wish that I still educated myself more on maths because I generally loved participating in maths. What about yourself? What would be your favorite subject to take part in school? What was it?
Um, I'm probably similar to be fair with maths, but I think one of my favorite subjects that I really really enjoyed was geography because my teacher who I had for geography just was an absolute legend to be fair, so which made me enjoy the subject so much more than maths. I like maths because it was good at maths, you know what I mean? And as you say, you kind of use it every single day of your life, so it was pretty handy to be decent at it. Like,
I loved history, but I didn't like doing the work. I love learning about it, but I didn't like doing it.
yeah, it's just dead bored reading so much stuff, like, isn't it?
Yeah, that's 100%. And especially, well, that's a bit controversial, like, but especially like some of us don't know if that history is actually true or not
Yeah.
because we've never been in that in the mind. So, yeah, Danny, what does your morning routine look like? What do you do when you wake up in the morning?
Um, on a very productive morning, what I will do is I will wake up about 5:45. This is a very productive morning, and I'll wake up about 5:45, and me and Cameron, well, one of the boys I've lived with, me and him will go to the gym, come back, get bracky, go do a bit of work, and go to uni. That will be a good morning. Then that's what I strive for every day to have that morning. Obviously, sometimes it's not that easy to wake up at 5:45, especially when you're in university. So,
100%. No,
Jack,
no, literally, no one is perfect. Like they try to be like, but some days we just,
uh,
that way.
what's your perfect morning routine, or what was the question? Sorry.
What does your morning routine look like? So, my morning routine recently has been in between 4:45 and 4:45 waking up. I aim for 4:45, but sometimes, as we all know, that isn't the case, especially on a Tuesday and Thursday night when I don't get home to 9:30. But yeah, so ideally 4:45, wake up. Depending on what day it is, I go to the gym and then I come home. I would have a list of two TikToks I need to make for my fitness page, so I'd do them too. Then that would bring me up to 8:30 after editing them. 8:30 to 9 o'clock, I would have oats and a scoop of protein powder, and then 9 o'clock onwards, it's morning's done. Like so, that's what I would get up to. Okay, right now we're both. This is a question, right? If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one bit of advice, what would it be?
Um, Probably just kind of what we talk about pretty often in this podcast. Just like do more and stop caring about what people think. Just do it.
And to be honest with you, Danny, I am on the exact same boat, and I know for a fact there's someone out here watching this episode, this exact clip that we're going to add it, thinking the exact same thing. So yeah, do
Yeah,
not care. Go
there's
ahead,
definitely some there's definitely someone out there who really really wants to do something or really wants to take a punt at something, but they're scared of what people are gonna think of them and they haven't done it yet. So what we would say to you, just literally just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not to put this guy under the what's the word,
Microscope.
microscope. I'm not gonna say his name obviously, but there was an 18-year-old who I'm not talking to on a daily basis or nothing, but he reached out to me and he says to me, basically, oh, fair play, keep up the content. I wish I could do that. But I'm just too scared of what my other friends would think. And I give them the exact same face as what I would give myself if I knew what I knew back then, which is only a couple of years ago. Is to take the action and don't care what other people think because ultimately they do not matter. Yeah. Next question. Next
The,
question.
the, are
Go
you
ahead,
asking
Danny.
it? Like,
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I, I was want to ask this one. If you could have coffee with any historical figure or any famous person, who would it be, Jack?
That, that's a great question. That's actually a great question. There's quite a lot of people that I would love to talk to, and off the top of my head, now there's so many people I could name you like a good plus 10. But if I had to pick one, just off the top of my head, and yeah, I just love Alex Ramosa. He's my favorite person to listen to at the minute. I think he's unbelievable. I just feel like I would get so much value and so much information that I could take away from the conversation. So yeah, that's what I would pick. Danny, what if you had to pick one historian or a famous person to talk to and have a coffee with? Who would it be?
Um, I'm going to go back to the Roman Empire, even though all you fellas have been thinking about it all week, apparently. So, Marcus Aurelius, lad, 100%, just kind of talk to him about the meditations in the book and stuff. Obviously, the book was never meant to be released, but just talk to him because he ran literally one of the biggest empires that the world has ever seen successfully. So, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, you would definitely get a lot of value and information and like how he done it and stuff, and you know how he built that community and stuff. Yeah, 100%. I understand why you would pick him. I'll go next, and you go after. Just take it my turn.
Go for it.
What has been your least favorite job to date?
My least favorite job to date. I last year in second year of uni, no, first year, would have been first year actually, the end of first year,
Yeah.
I worked as a chef in a restaurant, and lad, you could not pay me enough money to be a chef ever again in my life, lad. I will never be a chef again.
And with all your respect, I can understand why it sounds like a very stressful job.
Yeah, respect to all chefs. I don't know how you do it. Like if there's any chefs listening out there, I my respect is completely with you because I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, 100% here for fair play to yous. My least favorite job to date, I would say, would be, and I'm not saying it, I'm telling people to try this, try that. I don't have loads of jobs. I've done, I think, at the top of my head, I've done about 5 jobs. And my worst one to date, and I'm saying that it's the worst one to date, but I continued doing it for months and months, and it would be the warehouse job. I worked in a warehouse, and although it wasn't as bad as what people made it out to be, it just, in the sense that it was good for your physical health, you're always on your feet. I think it wasn't even that bad. I felt like it wasn't even that bad, but it's just the brain numbing. You don't get anything from it. You're just being there to be there. You're just a number on the system for them. And so, yeah, it would be my ideal job. Go ahead, Danny.
Um, we'll lighten up the tone a wee bit. Jack, what is a funny story your family tells about you that you would like to share for anyone out there?
A funny story. A funny story. A funny story that my family would tell about me would be, what would it be? Can't even really think of much. Not funny ones. Danny, I would like you to answer that question first before, so I can think of something. So what is the funniest story your family tells about you, and what would you like to share?
A funny story that my family used to tell about me. There's one that's springing to mind. So there is, lad. You probably know what I'm going to say here as well. It's something for years I was completely embarrassed about, lad. Never told anyone. So seeing I was maybe, what would it have been? P6, P primary six in primary school. So it would have been about what 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So I went on my mummy's laptop one day. Um, Obviously back then when I was 8 or 9, Britain's Got Talent was one of the biggest shows on TV. Do you know what I mean? It was. I think that all the ads for it were coming up, and I was like, here, I want to do that, and I didn't tell her. So I went on their laptop. So I did. Went on Britain's Got Talent, lad. Applied for it in London. My ma got an email 2 days about 2 days later about an audition in London for Britain's Got Talent. Maybe I don't know. Maybe she's excited to have a child star in the house, lad. But I don't actually know why. But she brought me, her and my dad brought me to London, lad, and oh, it's so embarrassing talking about it, lad.
Wait, hold
Uh,
on, hold on. They brought you to London.
they brought me to London, lad, to audition for Britain's Got Talent. Why? I do not know, lad. I do not know. But anyway, I go over to London, and it's in that there, it's in some big like arena, like it's the one across the O2. It's not the O2. It's like one across the road, like not across the road, across the river. Sorry. And anyway, I there was some famous like girl taking my auditions. Couldn't tell who she was off the top of my head from now. Um, I remember, lad, like I actually remember it so much. I remember back then everyone used to like dress in chinos and like high tops, lad. I was wearing like chinos and high tops, lad. I walked in and I started singing. I was singing Never Get Robbie Williams. She's made of candy.
Yep.
Lad,
Wait, did you? I never. You know, I've never heard this story.
yeah, yeah, lad.
Uh,
I can tell you why, because I was completely scundered about it, lad, for years. I
is
walk in
there?
and I
Is
start.
there? Is there a video of it?
Nah, lad, I never got through like the next stage. It was like the first stage. I kind of just go into a wee room and sing, mate. Walked in and started singing Robbie Williams. Was absolutely shite, lad. I never got a call back. But here, you know what I mean? I think my man and dad just probably went to London because they just wanted a wee trip away, you know what I mean? But I was a distance for Prince Got Talent, lad.
Here,
Absolutely scundered about it.
I need to try that now. You know,
Literally, lad. I'm not going to be a child star anyway.
that's a great story. I don't know how I'm going to top that one. To be honest. What could I say? What was the question again, Danny Joe?
The question was, what is a funny story your family tells about you that you would like to share?
A funny story. I'll be honest, yeah, I cannot think of one funny story. I can think of a few like outrageous stories that I've done from when I was child, what they would tell the people, like what's he doing kind of thing. But I can't really think of much funny ones. Actually, well, they would maybe tell this story here about. So I was having a slobbering match with my mummy. One of my best mates, shout out to Adam McKenna if he's watching. I hope he is. He should be. Adam McKenna, and he was with me, and we just kept going back and forth. How she was wrong and I was right, blah blah. And I turned around and called her a fruit. And then she had turned around and said to me, "What kind of fruit am I?" I goes, "You're an apple, an apple, Danny." So yeah,
Oh,
not
offensive
much of a
stuff.
not much of a funny story, but big 10-year-old Jack thought he was king. He thought he was the real king back then. Now I'm the king, but back then he was the king, no man. But
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Danny. Scroll down a bit and think.
it's, it's, it's,
Oh,
it's
it's
your
my go.
question, isn't it? Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
what are your red flags in a relationship, Danny?
Oh, my red flags in a relationship. I don't know that. To be fair, probably just um, I couldn't tell you that, to be honest. Just all
Do you
the
want me to
standard
go?
ones. You go first. You go first. I'll
Uh,
probably agree with half of them.
so my red flags in a relationship is probably someone who's disrespectful. Like the first thing, in my opinion, in a relationship is you need to have respect for each other. Without respect, there is no relationship, in my opinion. And people just they just don't respect one another, which means they're not going to listen to one another. Ultimately, meaning the relationship's going to suck. So I think my base red flag is disrespectful. Someone being disrespectful. What is your base red flag, Danny?
My biggest red flag, probably people who are spoiled, lad. Do you know what I mean? Expect everything. That would be
Yeah,
one of my biggest ones, I think.
yeah, 100%. They just feel like they're privileged in the sense that they feel like I'm with this guy, so he has to pay for everything and do everything for you, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
he has to, basically drop everything and play it half for you, kind of thing. I get you, Jimmy. Go ahead, Danny. Next person.
Next question. Oh, do you have one in mind while I'm trying to get one here?
Yeah. What is the hardest challenge you have had to overcome in your life?
The hardest challenge I've ever had to come overcome in my life. I wouldn't say I've faced major challenges, any significant ones to kind of talk about, like in the grand scheme of things about life, but simple ones, probably just like lack of motivation, just being disciplined, stuff like that. I wouldn't say I've had any major challenge that in the grand scheme of life.
I think you're dodging this question. There's definitely something. There must be something. There must be something you've overcome. maybe it doesn't sound that big, but like it is big kind of thing.
I don't know. Why do you have one in mind, or you can share it
Nah.
if you want. Like,
What's the biggest challenge you have to overcome in your life so far? I don't. I personally don't think. As I'm saying it to you, but I don't think I've came across a significant challenge like, oh my god, like I need to come overcome something like massive kind of thing. There's not been massive, you know what I mean? So in
yeah,
the sense that I don't think I've had to come overcome something that is life changing in the sense that I need, yeah, kind of thing. I don't feel like I've came over something that's a life challenge kind of thing.
yeah, same.
Maybe personal challenge, but not never life.
They'll probably, hopefully not, but there'll probably be a few down the line, maybe. Hopefully not, though. Fingers crossed. Touch wood.
Touch wood. Hopefully, we don't. So we're
Is
gonna. I'll go ahead, Danny. We'll ask two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up.
two more questions, then we'll wrap up. What values are important to you when you think about the kind of business you want?
What values? Communication is the number one in my opinion. In the sense, without communication, you can't understand what's actually going on within the business. You don't understand the proper communication. You don't know what's working and what's not, and you know what needs to change. You know things you need to adapt. Communication. The second one would be respect. If someone doesn't respect you, they're not going to respect your business. So respect. Number three is what would be number three? Um, Respect, communication,
Is
and
it would that be within a business partner? Yeah,
yeah, business
or
partner or any or just if I had employees or like or
yeah,
anything like that, first would be respect. Oh no, sorry, communication, then respect, and then the third would be probably maybe manners, to be honest, because you want someone who's generally wants to be there, like someone who like manners and actually like hello, thank you. You know, it's just easy stuff like that. There, you know, someone that's good at working as a team, if you get me. But there's really things like I think off the top of my head. What would be the values you would have people? What would be the values people would have to be your business partner or within your business?
um, with I'll approach it from two angles. So the question they can talk about the business that the business supplies to you. Obviously, ultimately, whatever business has to do is create money in terms of freedom financially. In order to run the business, two would be that it would add to the benefit of people. That people would actually receive benefit from the business. In terms of working with people, it would have to be they are motivated and they also support the vision. So it's not their motivational factors would be internal and we would be on the same wavelength like that. But yeah, that would probably be mine from
Yeah,
both angles.
nah, 100%. Someone who has the same vision, the same plan, the same goal. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, but it's good to have two different people's perspective. But yeah, so um, my last question. Um, right, we'll leave it off with this here. Hopefully, give someone a bit of motivation or someone that could be look at this. Anyway, what is something you've recently learned about yourself?
Something I have recently learned about myself is that I'm capable of a lot more than I think I am in
Uh,
terms of I'm working hard and achieving things and doing uncomfortable things.
um, Define uncomfortable. What have you started to do that's uncomfortable?
Well, for one, this podcast was uncomfortable when we started it. Even simple things like going to the gym, it's dead boring. But not as dead boring. It's all right. Like, it's uncomfortable in the sense that you're pushing yourself. Ice bath, be doing ice bath like every single day, which is obviously dead uncomfortable. Then, kind of just when I'm working on side hustles and stuff, putting it out so people can see that I'm doing it. So if it fails, the fear of failure and the fact that I'm judging me is uncomfortable. So it motivates me. But yeah,
That is a great thing you just said there. And I never even thought of that. I feel like because I've got on this journey, I've started this journey, I don't want to let myself down. But then now I have people actually watching my stuff. I don't have much people watching stuff, but I still have people watching it, and people are preying on my downfall, thinking like, "Oh, this guy, look at this. He thinks he's class. He thinks he can upload this and do that and all that." And soon they're going to be like, I knew you wouldn't be able to do it anyway." But nah, I'm determined to prove them wrong. And also, yeah, the biggest thing I've learned this about myself, would be actually try something similar in the sense that I know I could be doing more. So why am I doing more? I feel like I've learned that I have more potential than than I have been producing recently. I feel like I have way more potential than what I'm letting off, and I feel like everyone has it in them, is in the sense that they have more potential than they're doing. I also feel like I can push I feel like I've learned that I can actually push my work threshold a bit more, in the sense that I'm working this amount of time, but I feel like I over the week I'm working this amount of time, but I feel like I've learned that I'm actually capable of working a good bit more than what I have been doing. So
Yeah.
I'll probably the most recent one. I feel like I can actually work push my threshold work threshold more. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Danny, I think that's us up 4 hours and 50 minutes. I am going to watch Jordan Peterson in the next 5 minutes, so I will let you know how I get on today. Guys, any questions at all? Oh, any questions at all? Literally just ask us in the our Instagram pages. No, sorry, not Instagram page. Our actual Instagram. And it could be anything, literally anything at all. And let us know what you want to talk about and guests, etc. Danny, have you anything to add?
No, yes, just if you have anything to ask us or you want to hear us talk about, as Jack's already said, reach us out on the Instagram. What's the Instagram is Today is the Day Show with spelled SHO, isn't it?
SHO, I think so.
Yeah, no, today's the day POD, so today's the day pod, so reach out on that. But yeah, thank you all very much for listening. We really appreciate the support that we've been getting on the two podcasts so far. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, here, thank you very much. It generally does mean a lot, and we will be
Yeah, I think Jack's frozen, but thank you all very much for listening to the podcast. And I don't know what he was going to say next, but thank you all very much for listening. And today is the day podcast over and out.